Christopher Chung stars in Slow Horses, the hit Apple TV Plus series, with the finale coming up tomorrow. This is so exciting. Christopher, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the character of Roddy and what can we expect in this finale.
Roddy is the most abrasive, know-it-all tech geek that you will find in a spy espionage thriller, but he's an absolute joy to play. I think in the finale, you'll see that he's actually got all the answers to the questions that have been asked in the previous 5 episodes, and when it comes to a crux, he really shows up.
Let's talk a little bit about the premise of second chances. And everybody had a career-ending mistake and ends up in one department. But what does this series have to say as far as like people still can do something, and people can still put their minds together to create something and solve something big, even though maybe they had a mistake that maybe cost them a big part of their career?
Well, I think it's really telling that all of these spies in Slough House have been put out there because they're classed as kind of useless. And as you progress through the series and you start to see actually all of these characters are quite capable of doing their jobs, they just did something seriously wrong to mess it up. It's quite a nice journey to see that unity within the group happen, of how they come together to try and save Hassan.
Week by week, we're learning a little bit about the series. How hard was it to keep those secrets from other cast members or from friends and family who got really excited about the series?
I think a good example of it, I haven't seen the whole 6 episodes. I've been watching it week by week with my wife because that's how I intended to watch it. But the scripts have been available for her to read, which she hasn't because she wanted to save herself. So I think it's really telling that even for me, that I know what happens in every subsequent episode. At the end of every one, you're left with a cliffhanger, and the suspense is just so high, which I think is really nice about having one episode drop a week. It keeps the suspense rolling through the week, and then you really get that payoff when that Friday comes and the episode drops. So I think tomorrow everyone will be really happy with the way that everything wraps up. It's going to be quite an exciting episode.
Yeah, and obviously Roddy has a big episode or a big storyline in this final episode. Talk a little bit about the other cast members and what it was like to be a part of the series.
It was fantastic. I mean, working with Gary and Kristen, Saskia Reeves, Jack Loudon, Olivia Cook, Roz, Dustin, it has been such a incredible education for me. Watching their choices and the way that they make character, and also being involved in the conversations on how we make this series kind of gel, and how the slow horses work together and how they don't work together. And for me, in a certain way as well, being an outsider from the group and also not being from the UK has been a nice dynamic to play, because Roddy he's really the oil to their water. He doesn't really like to join in. So being able to play those dynamics has been such great fun.
As far as research for the role, I'm not sure, you specifically or for the entire team, were there previous British intelligence agents, or were there other agents that you were able to talk to or get a little bit of insight into these roles?
Yeah, so during the rehearsal process, we did have an ex-MI5 agent come and speak to us. He was able to answer us a lot of questions, of which one he told us a lot of MI5 agents that retire end up going into acting because they live so much of their life in a performance, not letting people know who they are or what they do. So they're actually very good actors. So that was really interesting and intriguing for me. And I think for me, I read a lot of spy books and kind of what that entailed, and tried to watch other shows or documentaries about what it would mean to be in an MI5 unit. So it was very encumbersome, and it was great to be able to delve into that world.
The final thing here, just since you mentioned it, are you now going to be curious as far as your future acting jobs, as far as like who may have been like a previous MI5 agent? Because if someone's not that, open about their past or their past career, like this, I know exactly where you might have come from.
Absolutely. I'm going to be vetting everyone.
Christopher, thank you so much for your time today. Go ahead and catch the finale, Slow Horses, Apple TV Plus, dropping this Friday.